Welcome to the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast, recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois. We're all about thriving marriages and living free from alcohol. Welcome to episode 113 for March 1st, 2026.
Oh, well, hello there, children. Welcome way back to the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast. I'm Matt, along with the always lovely Coach Amy.
Hello there, producer Matt.
We've been a long time gone, kids, and it shows because it took we do a drink of the week if you're a first-time listener to the podcast, and I've almost finished my drink of the week in the amount of time it took me to get this thing actually working again. So
It's been a bit.
don't let the weeds grow under your podcasting world because it takes a minute to get
Man, you were really having to weed.
Oh, I was on the struggle bus for real. But now that we're back, kids, don't forget to like, subscribe, tell all your friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, small group people, whoever you know, random people on the street. That'd be awesome. And also go out to down there in those show notes down there below, and you can download our Beyond Spirit 7 Tips Start Your AF Journey and our weekly marriage meeting guide, which we do every single week. Probably need to do it after all the stress of setting up this podcast.
We don't do it every single week, but we do it a lot.
Yes. And if you love Coach Amy and love what you hear here, and you could use a little help quitting that alcohol, you can always go to AmyEdwardsCoaching.com. And,
Boy, it's even been a minute that we remembered that.
AmyEdwardsCoaching.com, and you can sign up for a discovery call.
And not only alcohol coaching, but I also help with life coaching, general life coaching as well.
Yes, but as it pertains to this, it might be
Yes.
alcohol.
Alcohol, relationship coaching. If you need someone to walk you through and help you see those blind spots
There you go.
and maybe you're not seeing yourself.
And I'm going to say we have a good excuse for being gone. Let's see. Oh, I don't think we podcast since you lost your dad, right?
No, we did one.
Did we?
Not since then.
No, not
but
since
at
then.
the beginning of the year. No.
Yes.
So we have not done anything.
And then, I don't know, other things came up. We had our son got married.
No.
That was a weekend.
Okay,
And
yeah, but not even that. It's just been...
things after things after things.
It's just been that period of life right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't blame the time of the year.
I think, let me see if I can...
What are you looking for?
Well, I was just going to see when the last time we podcast, because
it was...
hold on here. I've got it. Yeah, I do have it.
January?
Well, it was the
beginning of January.
Beginning of January.
Yeah, because we did dry January stuff.
Yep, we did a dry January.
And whatever February was to quit, we missed that. I don't know. It's probably stopped drinking February. I don't know. But now it's Lent. Lent's another good reason. It doesn't rhyme with anything, but a lot of people quit drinking for Lent.
Yes.
I never did because 40 days seemed like a
I never
real
could
long
either.
time.
I never could get, no.
Because think about it. If dry January would be easier because it's only 30 days. Lent's 40.
Matt,
40.
I never did a dry January.
No.
I did I guess it was in April.
40 days. Give me a break. Back then? No. 4 days?
No.
Not even.
And I started off with 21 days because 30 was too much. Really? I mean, that, and then
you're right. Yeah, you did do 21.
I started with I did start a few days before that challenge started. Right. So I did go ahead and say, oh, you know what? I've done 21 days. I'll just finish out the month.
There you go. Well, sometimes a little mind game never hurts, kids.
You know what? That's absolutely true. The mind, I like to play, those games. I mean, it helps me. I mean, you and I still say that we can drink whenever we want to. We just choose not to.
Yes,
so,
that is true. Even at the wedding a couple weeks ago. Well, no, not last week.
Yes, it was a week ago this last Friday.
Both of us commented that it's like...
We didn't even think about it. We ordered an NA beer. We knew that they had NA beer.
Yep, we had that, and I didn't.
And we had a couple of those. It didn't faze me one bit.
No, shockingly, I kind of thought I would, but no,
not one bit.
Not even.
Not at all.
Not one bit.
Not one little bit.
But yeah, we are going to talk a little bit today, kids, about grief and sobriety through grief and grieving and marriages and those type of things. So something we all have to go through in a time. Another one of those times that challenges our drinking, because there were a few times in the past month that I'm like, oh, I know it's not a good idea, but it really could be handy dandy, to tell you the truth.
Well, I agree. But you know what? Even through all of it, that didn't even come up for me.
See, for me, it kind of came up then. It did not come up for the wedding thing.
It didn't come up for the wedding. And when my dad passed, that was not a thought around it. It was not going to, I knew I've been preparing for this, I guess, for so long.
True.
But also that whole healthy visualizing what is going to come up in your life that you're going to need to deal with. And you need to make your mind up well in advance.
And there were a lot of scenarios in that being sober made it easier.
Well in advance. And I did not have any qualms about any of it.
Ooh, qualms. That's a good word you don't hear very often.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, kids, we're going to run through the drink of the week here, which is not what's on your notes, or Amy, because our notes, to be a little behind the scenes, say 113B because we got into a notes debate and had to start all over again. So
Let me pop this open.
So I'll do mine first while Amy...
there you go.
Amy goes, well, what's your drink of the week? She goes, I don't know. I said, here it is. So she's never even tried hers. I'll start with mine.
Which is kind of fun.
This is one I actually found local. Yours I found local as well. Bulltown Brewing Blonde. I've never heard of Bulltown Brewing, but it's a Midwest crafted non-alcoholic beer. It's just a blonde, 70 calories, kind of standard run-of-the-mill blonde. Really good, kind of a cool looking can and whatnot.
It's Bulltown?
Bulltown, right? I'm reading that right. Bulltown,
okay.
Yeah. And I can't.
Then they have got. Is that a bulldog?
Oh yeah, it is no. That's an actual. I think it's actual bull. I see a saddle. It's
I can't see.
Bold flavor, no bull. No, it's bull.
Oh, it's a bull.
Yeah.
From over here.
From Iowa. Proudly brewed in Iowa, kids.
Cool.
There you go. So Bulltown Brewing, check them out if you can find them I found them at our local Binny's. Amy, you have Rationale is really good and just came to the cornfields anyway.
And this is a Japanese style dry with cherry blossom.
I didn't even know it was part of their Maverick series.
And this is batch 01.
Well, Maverick series, you said, is like it's kind of like their pilot program.
Yeah, they said this is an experimental limited releases.
And I've been around the beer world, both alcohol and non-alcoholic, for a long time, and I've never heard of a Japanese style, what is it? Japanese style what? Dry. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. It says cherry blossoms. I don't know if it's intended to give a cherry flavor. I assume cherry blossoms wouldn't really give a cherry flavor.
Oh, that has a nice finish.
But I had to push it to the back of the fridge so I wouldn't drink it. There were other beers that were going to be on the list, but I've since drank them. So I try to keep some of those. So you're a fan?
I like it. I do like it. I'm just trying to. I'm absorbing it.
You're savoring, running it through your palate. I mean, you drink beer. You're not a huge beer person, but
I like beer.
you like beer.
Here, try some.
I know what it tastes like. I drank the other 4.
Oh, you have? Oh,
Yes, it's very good.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like how it finishes off. It has kind of a very light, almost like a little bit of a Coke.
I would say that Rationale.
A cherry Coke type.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit of a cherry Coke finish to it.
When you taste that compared to this Bulltown is a very good sort of, try that one. It's kind of I would put it in the category of I hate to say garage beer because that really cheapens it, but it's sort of your, a Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon ballpark kind of beer.
This is a good Sunday.
Yeah.
A Sunday or a weekend.
It doesn't have the complex flavor of yours, but it's not the same beer either, so that's
and I really love the packaging. Sorry, Matt. I really love the packaging. I love how it looks like it's just been torn, and then you can see all of that.
I think that's actually Rationale's kind of thing, and they change what goes behind it.
It looks really cool. I really like the packaging on this.
So there you go. Check out Bulltown or Rationale for your next NA beer soiree. Soiree, you like that? All right, Coach Amy. Let's talk about the double weight of grief and sobriety.
Being sober while you're grieving.
And I just literally said in one of our first bullets, it'd be easier if you numb out, because I you know what? Just mute my brain. Take
numbing
me away,
out.
Calgon.
Alcohol was always the easy button, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
and I know that. I still know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, that would be boom. Let's hit the easy button. Let's have a drink, and let's numb out. And yes, would it be easier? Absolutely. Like you and I have said over and over, but it's easy only for that amount of time. And then anything that you need to, excuse me.
That's what happens when you drink beer on the
Sorry.
podcast.
Anytime you drink to avoid,
Right.
you're just kicking the can down the road, right?
Right. Well, and this other bullet, you mentioned to me, not because I said I was interested in having a drink, but just in our conversations about drinking during grief. And that was it, it may remove the pain, but it adds, chaos.
Yeah.
Because you're hungover, or maybe you're, sometimes you have to, in these situations, you're dealing with family you don't always deal with.
Oh,
And,
yes.
if you're drinking, that doesn't help. Or if you're hungover and tired, that doesn't help.
Exactly.
Scenarios.
And if you're tired and you're irritable and all of that comes up, and if you're trying to work through, process through, especially managing the, if it's a funeral, a celebration of life, trying to work with other people, either your
Right.
siblings or other people who are involved in that process, it's not going to make that any easier.
No.
And I can only imagine if I would have been drinking, how irritable, how I would have not been able to just like kind of process through. Okay, thinking through.
Right.
Thinking about the other person and what they're going through too, because they're going through the same grief process that you are probably going through.
And I would have been like, why is there no booze at this wake?
Well, good answer for you is it was also at
At
church.
a Lutheran church, so probably not a lot of
Which
liquor
no,
there.
they, different events, I'm sure. But so that was really good, and being present through all of it. Like, you know what? I want to honor my dad.
Right.
I want to honor that whole experience, and I don't want to numb it.
If you could tip a 40 to your homie and then you're not drinking it, you're just pouring it out, Like
But now let me just tell you this thing, which I do think is pretty funny, is during the funeral, which was quite lovely.
Yes. The Bill Orr sing-along funeral.
It was lots of the old traditional hymns.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy that. But it was hard. And during that time, the way where we were seated in the front of the church, and there's a little room off to the side where we actually did the visitation. That little room.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was a picture of my dad
At our wedding.
with 2 beers
Two
in his hands. And my dad was not a big
No.
drinker, never was, but it was just the funniest.
Yeah. It was a funny picture to have up for a guy who never really
the
drank.
juxtaposition
Yeah.
of this moment and looking
Yeah.
over and seeing my dad just this big, very happy smile on his face and
Yeah.
everything. And I
Yeah.
don't know. So I don't know why I wanted to add that in there, but it just made me laugh
yeah.
and it helped. And not that alcohol was going to help me at all in anywhere. And that's a big change. I mean, oh my gosh, 6 years ago, because I'm coming up on my 6th happy versary or whatever you want to call it, happy birthday or
Soberversary.
yeah. I would have totally been hitting the wine, beer. That would have
Anything.
been anything. Yeah.
Well, and it would have interrupted the flow of everything because it's like, like his visitation was in the evening, right over prime drinking time. What, 4 to 7, I think it was? Mm-hmm. The whole time I would have been like, when can I get a drink? Or like, knowing me, I probably would have had a flask or something. I would have done something to get around it. Or your mom's house is right across the street. I would have excused myself, run across the street, down a drink. And I would have done something in that realm. I just know how I was.
Oh, yeah. And I just look at it now that it's like it was everything that I needed to do for myself to keep myself healthy during that 6-week period that we were going through from the time my dad had his stroke all the way to the funeral, because I was able to most mornings still get up, still
Right.
work out,
Right.
still do the things that I needed to do. It would not have been the case.
No, there were a lot of things that were easier. Well, and like getting up early. Like
Exactly.
We'd be at the
Getting up
hospital 7
early.
a.m.
Yeah.
Or 8, but out the door by 7. It's like, you're not doing that day in day out. With all my old stomach problems and everything. Oh my God, I can't imagine.
No, exactly.
But what would you tell somebody like, I'm sure you've coached people around this. Like if you're, we're what, 5 and 6 years together,
If someone was right at the beginning,
like somebody more at the beginning, like it would be a super easy.
You know
trigger.
what?
I wouldn't blame you.
I would exactly, but one of the things, just saying that, it's only going to make that it's going to prolong that grieving process. I've coached 2 people through this who have been at the very beginning of their alcohol-free challenge, if you would, with me, who both within probably 2 or 3 weeks, both lost a parent. And having that happen, both of them told me, like, oh my gosh, everything would have been, just like you and I said, it would have been so much worse.
Right.
And they wouldn't have been able to process and actually honor that grief process either. I think that's one of the things is, I don't mean to sound preachy on this. I'm looking to see if she's going to be in the
no, she didn't
in the picture, but alcohol cheapens it. It cheapens that part of our life.
Right.
I really do. I feel like that would have just cheapened and made it. I don't even know how to describe it. Put it in words, but
well, I think in early sobriety, if you use that trigger to numb your pain and get out of it, and right, wrong, or otherwise, okay, you're using it as a, you're giving alcohol a job, which is dangerous, but you're where do you draw the line at, like, okay, I'm past that, I can stop drinking again, right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to drink tonight, and then, if we had drank through that whole, off and on through that whole month, let's say.
It would have just escalated.
You can't tell me, like, the day after the funeral, be like, okay, that's over, I'm done.
No.
Like, oh, no, I'm still sad, I'm going to keep drinking, or this is going on, or the paperwork, or there's always going to be another excuse. Next thing you know, you're 6 months down the road, and you're right back to where you were. So
exactly. And I think that is part of it. It makes it, I mean, it doesn't make grief easier, but it makes it easier to process the grief and at least to be present for the emotions. Because I think that, if you really, truly, when we love someone the way we do, it's honoring to feel that pain. That shows us how much we really did love them.
Right. Yeah.
So why would I want to take away from that?
Exactly. I would agree. Now, look, I would say our scenario tick easier because not a lot of drinkers on your side anyway. So
True. I would say that.
There wasn't a big, hey, let's get a group together and run down to the bar or what have you. So
yeah, no.
But since this is the alcohol-free marriage and more, on the marriage side, we learned lessons as much as it gave us a chance to practice a lot of the understanding and the things we've done through like marriage coaching and everything, and how to sort of more practical tips.
Yeah, I agree.
When you're going, because like, wow, it's like, so certain things like lower expectations. I think that goes for
everything.
Your expectation of each other, your expectation of like a clean house. Like our house turned into a train wreck. It was like, even both of us were like, and we're pretty liberal when it comes to how clean our house is, but we're like, oh my gosh, nothing.
I think we keep things we keep things pretty tidy,
right?
But I mean, there was just a point where
because you were just dump and run.
We
and
were,
go
literally, because we were, when he was in the hospital for those first couple of weeks down in Springfield, that was just like I was
back and forth,
basically getting up, going back and forth, doing this, what we're coming home.
Yeah, there's no time to get all that done.
And and then when you go the next step, it was just this crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a blur, a blur. But I think you're right. Lowering those expectations and just being like, you know what, this is just the season we're in right now, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We can pick things up. And what was even like Luke, he came to watch Oreo for us when we had to go to St. Louis. And it was really interesting. He even made a comment. He goes, yeah, because he had come home somewhere in there and had to sleep on the couch in the basement because someone was using his room. And he even said, he goes, yeah, he's like, I noticed like he had left his sleeping bag there and it was still there. It was had not been touched. And so, yeah, I'm like that really was a part of it. And I guess that's the other thing. I mean, we went from 2 weeks in a hospital, took Dad to rehab. He was on his way, the mend.
Right.
And then they thought that he had some kind of blockage, and we ended up having to intervene, call 911 once he was home and get him and go to a hospital. And they transferred him down to Missouri Baptist. So we had a
lot of road trips,
crazy journey around that.
Well, I think the lowering expectations goes with the, your grace over performance, right? It's like, we're all trying our best right now. There's a lot going on, and everything might not be the best, but we're making it work. And I think you get there through these short check-ins, because I don't think we really had time to do maybe we did one or two, but we didn't do our weekly marriage meetings because it was like.
No, we did a lot of checking in. How are you doing? And I can't remember. I remember having a conversation. I don't remember when I had the conversation with you. I think it might have been after the funeral. But I think it was, I ended up going to you and going, okay, you were so good, like overall, like helping me manage my moods and everything. You've been like that through our whole marriage, which has been great. But like, I even had to come to you and go, okay, you have to even be nicer. And you're really nice. Like you have to be so kind with me right now, because even the littlest could set me off, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And not trying to, I don't even know where I was going with that, but just that whole thing, like you were just so good, and you were like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong. You're actually doing everything right. We need to get the dog down. Magic keeps walking. Hold on. Silly pooch. But yeah, I mean, I think that was the thing. You like even looked like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong. I just need even more. I need you to be more gentle even. Just help me.
Well, and that's part of giving each other permission to grieve differently, right? Like, everybody is on a different level.
Well, I think, and if you subscribe to my newsletter that's coming out with this podcast, you'll be reading like that. Like all of these different things, you're trying to manage all of these different things. And then not only do we have, the funeral and that, then now we're getting ready for, we were getting ready for Luke and Maya's civil marriage.
Right.
And now we're getting ready to go on the, their wedding, where they'll be doing their vows and everything, which we're really excited about. But it's like so crazy how you were just on this roller coaster and you feel like you're absolutely fine, but there's this underlying weight that you're just like, what is that? And as I was talking to a grief counselor, she's like, that's called grief. And I'm like, oh, because that was something like she called to just do a check-in, which I have to say is, the hospice that my dad was in was just absolutely incredible.
Right.
It was affiliated, or it was a part of
Missouri
Barnes.
Baptist.
Well, no, but also
Barnes.
Jewish hospital, and that has been a blessing. And she called, and it was just like, okay, maybe I do need to have a conversation, maybe a couple conversations with you to process through some of this. So I'm going to be doing that coming up.
Well, and my favorite quote, we're on the same team, even if one of us is falling apart.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I think
that is a great mantra.
The reason I love that so much is through this, depending on which side of the family it's on, obviously one person's probably going to be a little stronger than the other person. But even so, there was moments that because not that anybody loves hospice, but I loathe it. Now that I've done it once, hated it. Then I'm in it the second time. I kid you not, I was within seconds of just saying, I'm leaving the building. I cannot physically, my physical being wanted to climb out of my body and just be like, I thought I was going to explode.
Yes.
Now see again, alcohol wouldn't have helped that either.
No, but, and that is true. You are going back to that. And I would have to say that there's trauma associated with like what you went through with your aunt.
Well, it's true. It brings back that.
It brings back all of
Right.
these things, and it was different. It
Right.
was not the same.
No.
And I mean, going through that experience with your aunts passing away, I was like, I'm not going to have this with my dad. That was a huge learning moment for me, going, okay, I know where we're headed. I could completely see it
Yeah.
because I had been down that road before. And I'm like,
That,
okay.
I will say experience does help.
And that helped. And there were
Right.
other things that I'm like, like your aunt never made it to
No.
home. She was, it was not the same.
Right.
It was, and not anyone's fault either, but like I knew what I was going to do for my dad. And I played music for him, and I didn't want that room to just be quiet. And that I think was just a blessing too. And my dad, thankfully, until that Friday before he passed away on a Sunday, I mean, we had some great moments with him, and I recorded that. So I would also say, if you have a point where your loved one is talking and telling stories, they're going through that, they're doing that life, what did you call it? It was you read about it, but it was like a life recap. Like their body, their brain.
Your brain starts bringing up all
these like major life-changing or memorable moments. It really took us back to the that movie what was it? Disney Pixar. With the emotions. I can't remember what it's called. With joy.
Yeah, with joy and anger and all that. Yeah,
and how you're processing all of these different memories. Because my dad told me some stories I hadn't heard. He told me about the first time he ever had a breathing treatment when he was 8 years old. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's so random. It's
and
like,
how he could actually breathe. And then he told us these other things, and I was like, oh, I got to start recording these. So we have about 25 minutes of just dad telling stories. So thankfully we have that too.
That is awesome. Yes. Amy, I want to get down to there to the bottom because we're running shortish on time.
Okay.
But I want to talk about some healthy coping mechanisms. Right?
Yes. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Exercise, I think.
Exercise.
It does a lot with the endorphins and everything. And you can, if you're angry, you can run out your anger. You can lift out your anger. You can.
I got up. I mean, January was a rough month, but
you still did pretty good.
I did 18 workouts. I still did workouts when we were at the hotel. I would agree. Walking. I walked, walking around the hospital, the place we were at. They actually had they called it their indoor track, but it was just in the basement. They had a loop that people could walk. So, it's okay to step away to walk.
And we talk
I would
about
tell people breathing.
But those are two things we talk about. Like even in early sobriety, when you just are sitting at home, it's like, I'm triggered to drink. Get up and do something, right? So same idea, like
ing activities. So exercising, walking,
knitting,
organizing. I mean, I can't clearly do that, but I cleaned up the little hospital room a couple different times. It's like walking around, tidying things up, doing things to distract yourself.
Right. And your friends, family, we're fortunate enough to have friends and close friends that we can talk to who've been through similar things, and we're at that stage of life, and it happens for a lot of us, right? You're at that stage of life where you usually know somebody who has or recently has.
Yeah, seeking support, but also not feeling like you can't reach out to somebody.
Right.
I think that's very important. And I would have to say we were surrounded by people who were constantly reaching out to us during that time, but also reach out after as well, check in with people, because that would be the thing. Like in all of this, then you lost your uncle.
Right.
And so there's that but based on that same thing we're talking about, you reached out to your cousin. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to reach out to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really important to do that. And I would just have to say that for us, I think it's also elevated. Like we will be reaching out to people because of how people reached out to us. That was really, we felt that.
And then substance support or professional help, like you said, you talked, grief counselors, alcohol coaches, whatever, whatever is, I hate to use the word triggering, but whatever is top of mind. Maybe it is the grief that's really getting you. It's not
getting the support.
Yeah.
That I think is really important. And
which I thought was interesting for you to say, well, I think I need to. Because sometimes, I think especially maybe you as a coach, like you forget, like, oh, well, I need to support people too.
That's right. We do. We need people to talk. Like I reached out to a friend last week. I'm like, hey, can we go for a walk? I just need to. I just need to talk.
Right.
But again, seeking a professional therapist, counselor, and there's a lot of free resources out there as well that you can even look up. I looked up different resources online too. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going through.
But it is common to look for relief, and alcohol seems like the easy way out, campers.
And I would say, grief support. Grief. What is it called? I think, is it called grief support or is it grief?
Google it. It's out there, kids.
But But okay, and then the last thing too, getting your emotions out. Again, like we just said, like walking, moving, breath work is journaling, creative. Like I have done quite a few floral arrangements in the last few weeks.
Which is better than your other thing of painting a lot of furniture. So
and that's the other thing I was looking at. I'm like, oh, what can I paint? What can I paint in here? Oh, okay, what can we refinish?
At least the floral arranging came in handy between the funeral and the wedding.
That's true.
That was actually a useful outlet for your time and talents. So, well, kids, that was a deep one for you. You know.
But we're back.
We're back.
We're gonna be back again. But again, we're giving ourselves a lot of leeway around this too, because we've had a couple of different times where we're like, oh, let's podcast, and then the next thing you know, we're like,
we didn't podcast,
and that's okay.
That is 100% okay, kids. So let it be okay for you too. So I hope you found your way back to the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you made it this far, you can always email Amy at amyedwardscoaching.com. I'll get it right one of these days.
Amy at amyedwardscoaching.com.
Whatever I said. Those things. Anyway, kids, if you want to reach out, and we'd love to hear a comment down below or email Amy, whatever.
Yeah, let us know. How you're dealing with hard stuff.
Yeah, hard stuff. And, growing old's a good time. All right, kids, well, that's it for us for this week. I'm Matt, along with Coach Amy, wishing you peace and love from the cornfields. And we are out.